What's going on, everybody? Today, I want to share what I've learned from my 10 years in my pharmacy career and how it translates well into real estate. For those of you who don't know, I've been working as a pharmacy director in a hospital. I've been a pharmacist for about 10 years now, and I graduated pharmacy school back in 2013. My first job, I came out in your typical big box retailer like, CVS, Walgreens, and from there, I quickly realized that retail pharmacy wasn't for me, so I took the leap into hospital pharmacy. So typically, we're in the basement, and I worked in the inpatient hospital pharmacy for about 4 years. And while I was working there, I was actually pursuing a master's in public health um, part time. So it was a virtual class. So I would work full time, and I was doing my master's in public health program on top of that. So I was pretty busy, uh, as I always been, right? And the moment I finished my master's in public health, that's when I went to pharmacy leadership. So I became, pharmacy manager, pharmacy director, clinical coordinator. I've been different positions. By the end of the day, it's just a pharmacy leadership position. And in my largest role, I've had about maybe 40 pharmacists underneath me, and I oversaw two hospitals. So it was a pretty big role. And initially, a lot of these finance YouTubers, a lot of these finance gurus always say, oh, you don't need education to make money and all that. That's true, right? Honestly, you don't need formal education to make money. You can make money through real estate by getting self educated. You can make money by owning a business. So I'm kind of one of the few exceptions where I actually went through a bunch of schooling. I have a doctorate degree, I have a master's degree, did a lot of education. I came out with $250,000 in student debt, but also pursuing, business through my Making Multifamily Money course, through my direct mail automation, through building a personal brand on YouTube, but also scaling in real estate and then building a 90 unit real estate portfolio while still working full time. So, how was I able to do that? Right. So, there must be some skills that I learned and honed over the past 10 years of my pharmacy career that is translating very well into real estate investing. And let me share it with them with you. So, most pharmacists, in some weird way, we're all borderline OCD. We're very detail oriented. We have to do A through Z exactly in sequence. I'm a little bit different. For me, as long as I get the same end result, I'm not as worried about the process unless it's a law or a regulation. Then, of course, you have to follow the process accordingly. But for the most part, pharmacists were very system and detail oriented. So, how does that translate well? So, I just described the word system oriented, right? So, most pharmacists are system oriented, and when you're in pharmacy leadership or management, you're creating systems so that the pharmacists and the pharmacy technicians reduce the amount of error that they have and also ensuring regulatory compliance, right? So I'm very good at building systems and solving problems. Every day in the hospital, I'm building a system to prevent a medication error from happening. Every day in the hospital, I'm solving a problem, right? There's a lot of drug shortages and how to create a plan to pivot based on that problem. So as you can kind of tell, Ray, these translate very well into real estate. Let me share why. So by buying real estate, once you get more advanced, you want to follow a system, right? So my Making Multifamily course is a system that I give my students that they follow. So I'm very systematic on how I choose my market. I'm systematic on how I get my off-market leads with my direct mailing campaign. I'm very systematic in terms of how we talk to the owners to build trust when going direct to seller. Like I have a checklist. I'm very systematic on how we make an offer through a three offer approach. The first one's a tax assessed price. The second one is net operating income divided by the market cap rate. And the third one is the price per unit. So I take the lowest of the three, but it's very systematic. Once I get the property under contract, I have a due diligence checklist for physical due diligence, legal due diligence, and financial due diligence. After that, I have a process for interviewing the property manager, the general contractor, building a team. Everything is systematized, right? So because I've been doing that for the past 10 years as a pharmacist and as a pharmacy director, it already trained me to think in systems and processes. Do not blame the individual, look at the system and tweak the system until it fits exactly what you want. So if you take that mindset, that helped me scale significantly in buying real estate. Like I create a system to buy off-market apartment complexes, and that's how I scaled to 90 units. In 5 years while working full-time, I leveraged a system which didn't require much of my time after I built that system and I let that system run. And I just focus on like 20% of the top 20% tasks. So that's making offers, doing banking, vetting people. I just focus my energy on the most important things that only I can do, and I outsource the rest. Right. So that's number one. So number one is I'm very system oriented. Number two is you have to know how to manage people. Right. So I manage 40 pharmacy staff, and imagine managing pharmacists. Everyone's a doctor. They have a doctorate degree, very intelligent, egos, all that stuff, right? So trying to talk to a doctor is much more difficult versus talking to a property manager versus talking to a general contractor, and they may not have, a college education or any form of education. So it's a different mentality in managing it, but it's a lot easier in my opinion. Like it's easier for me to deal with a general contractor to deal with a property manager than it is to deal with pharmacists because they're a lot more educated, they have an ego and whatnot. So because I'm used to managing 40 people, it allows me to delegate, right? I need to build a team around me. So I have a team of pharmacists underneath me, right? I have a team of property managers, general contractors, mortgage brokers, and lenders. I have a team in real estate. So once I vet and build that team, and I have a system for picking my team on pharmacy and in real estate, once you have that team and they're strong, you can scale that team, right? So my real estate team, I have a really strong property manager in Oklahoma. I can easily get 200 more units. They can easily handle it. And I know and I trust them that they can manage it well. It'll be very passive for me because I have a strong team there, right? The third skill is that being able to kind of coach and talk to people and become likable, right? So in the pharmacy management, you're dealing with a lot of different departments in the hospital: nursing, medical staff, respiratory, environmental, everything. There's like so many departments in the hospital, and the same thing in real estate, right? I'm dealing with property managers, general contractors, title insurance agents, everything. So just being able to be coachable and be likable, right? You have to be, it's soft skills that I developed by leading and managing, 40 people in pharmacy. And that translated very well where I come from an educational approach. I never am condescending. I ask for their input, ask the right questions, and I explain things in a very simple to understand way. That's what I do with my pharmacy staff, and that's what I do with my real estate team. So it translates very well. The fourth one is um, just being able to problem solve. Right. So in real estate, if there's an issue in real estate, for the most part, it's not life or death, right? Unless there's like a fire in there and whatnot. But for the most part, it's not life or death. Like, oh no, like the plumbing pipe bursted. It's going to cost me a couple $1,000s to fix it. Versus in the hospital, it's literally life or death, right? Like I have to make quick decisions to make sure I treat the patient and save their life. So I'm used to that high intensity, quick thinking environment, how to pivot to take care of that patient and then maybe tweak the system to make sure it doesn't happen again. Right. So if I can do it in the hospital, it's a lot easier in real estate because real estate moves a lot more slowly. Right. Like, okay, the plumbing bursted. Well, just turn off the water, then call a plumber to assess the situation. That's it. If you have a property manager, they're going to do that for you and just tell you after the fact. Right. So it's easier. So if I can solve and be creative or problem solving here, in the hospital setting, it translates very well into the real estate setting where I'm just solving problems every day. And in my eyes, I feel like I'm solving level 10 problems at the hospital, and real estate's maybe like level 5 problems. It might just cost me more money, right? Because then it's my personal money versus in the hospital, I'm using the hospital's money to solve the problem. So once again, it translates very well. So, um, overall, just kind of want to share my experience as to how I was able to scale um, to 90 units while working full time as a pharmacy director, and what skills that I honed and developed over the past 10 years, and how it translated into my real estate portfolio, as well as how it translates to my real estate business. Right. So a lot of people feel discouraged that, oh, why am I wasting all my time doing these W-2? But I want you to reframe your mind to think that, wow, what I'm doing at work and getting paid to do at work, it's teaching me different skills. And once you have good skills and you're highly skilled and skillful, that translates to other facets of your life, like real estate investing. So do not take your W-2 job for granted. So overall, I hope you found value from this video. Please like and subscribe and comment down below what you learned from your job and how it will translate into real estate. I would love to see what feedback I get. If you want to see the Making Multifamily Money course, as well as my direct mailing automation service, check out the link down below. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.